In the first 10 days of this year's transfer portal window, remember that window opened the day after Selection Sunday. So we're not even 2 full weeks into the men's basketball annual transfer window, which is a little shorter this year. 60 days last year, only 45 days this year. So it'll end on May 1st. That's how long these folks have to make their decisions in this year's transfer window. That was a rules change adopted by the NCAA Division I Council last October in a vote. Last year's number, by the way, got over 1,800. So we're already over 1,000 again, only 10 days in. But your point is well taken. Whether you look at it from an ACC perspective, there have been mass exoduses at places like California, soon to be an ACC school. Louisville, which has had a coaching change, has already had 8 players. You only have 13 scholarship players. The Louisville Cardinals have had 8 players put their names in the portal. Miami, Jim Laranaga's team, the Hurricanes have 5 players in the portal. Incoming Stanford has 4 players in the portal, and that list goes on and on. And whereas we haven't had the very biggest ACC names yet join the portal, there have been guys like Damari Monsanto, when healthy, a really key player for Wake Forest. His name is in the portal. A really talented young guard named Rodney Rice at Virginia Tech not only put his name in, but already has committed to Maryland of the Big Ten. Quadir Copeland, a talented guard at Syracuse, name in the portal. Miami's starting guard, Bensley Joseph, name in the portal. So those are some of the bigger names, and obviously there are going to be more. The teams that are still playing and those whose seasons recently ended, a lot of those guys haven't made their decisions yet. Whereas teams that have been done for a while, we're seeing more of the names trickle out. But you mentioned the mid-majors. It's even crazier at that level because, for example, at Appalachian State, remember, they just won the Sun Belt regular season title and had one of the better seasons in school history under Dustin Kearns. Their first team all-Sun Belt forward, Trayvon Spillers, 13 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, very efficient from the field. His name is in the transfer portal. Their big guy, 2-year starting shot blocker, Justin Abson, his name is in the portal. So that's 2 of your 5 starters in the portal after a great season at App State. But that's not the exception. That's more the rule. The Charlotte 49ers had a really good season. 2-year starter, Igor Milicek, his name is in the portal, former UVA player, actually. He's going to be moving on. Jackson Threadgill, a starting guard, his name is in the portal. Their starting center, Deshaun Jackson, not only put his name in the portal right away, but he's already signed with Iowa State out in Big 12 country. So there's another example of a good season on the court. But I just listed three of the 5 starters for the 49ers have their names in. For clarity, you don't have to leave just because your name is in. But more than 90% of the time, the players who put their names in do end up elsewhere, or at least picking another school or not returning is a better way to put it. Although there is that small percentage who change their mind and decide to stay. In other words, putting your name in the portal doesn't mean by rule that you have to leave. But Davidson's multi-year starter and team captain, Grant Huffman, his name is in the portal. And remember, that's under the relatively new coach, Bob McKillop, legendary coach of Davidson. It's his son is the head coach now. So that's one of his key players leaving after a rough season for the Davidson Wildcats. East Carolina seems to be perpetually trying to build its program. What happens? You find a great player named Brandon Johnson. You develop him as an outstanding forward in the American Athletic Conference. He becomes a 2-year starter for the Pirates. He plays 35 minutes a game, almost 15 points a game, almost 10 rebounds a game. A good 3-point shooter from the forward position. What happens? He puts his name in the portal, so you don't get him for his 5th and final year of college eligibility. That makes it harder to build that ECU program. That list goes on and on, Mike. Elon has a great guard named Max McKinnon in the portal. Gardner Webb lost its coach. Remember, Tim Kraft is now the head coach at Western Carolina. 3 of the Running Bulldogs starters have their names in the portal. And these numbers could have changed in the time we started our conversation today, by the way. That's how quickly this stuff changes. Anyone who wants the most updated information, please go to ncsportsnetwork.com. I have a running tally with all 18 ACC schools. Yes, I include the 3 incoming schools. and all 19 of our in-state Division I men's basketball programs. So it's truly the XL Moving and Storage transfer portal at ncsportsnetwork.com.